This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
To make switching to the new Boost Mobile risk-free, we're offering a 30-day money-back guarantee.
So why wouldn't you switch from Verizon or T-Mobile?
Because you have nothing to lose. Boost Mobile is offering a 30-day money-back guarantee.
No, I asked why wouldn't you switch from Verizon or T-Mobile?
Oh.
Wouldn't.
Because you love wasting money as a way to punish yourself because your mother never showed you enough love as a child?
Whoa. Easy there.
Yeah.
Applies to online activations. Requires port in and auto pay. Customers activating in stores may be charged non-refundable activation fees.
Yo, UK! At BetMGM, we give our players sports betting entertainment like nobody's business. Football, horse racing, darts, boxing, tennis, golf, NFL, NBA. You name it, we got it. Offers? You know it. Bet 10 pounds and get 40 pounds in free bets. BetMGM, it's showtime.
New customers only. Exclusions apply. 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly.
Evening and welcome to another edition of The Away End. I'm Craig Courtney and joined this evening by Joe Putterfoot from the CharltonLive podcast. We did speak earlier in the season, Joe, so welcome again, and we'll go through the upcoming game shortly. I just want to say to everyone as well, it's a welcome to the Away End, which is in association with AMG Logistics, who are also one of the chief sponsors of Birmingham City Football Club and ourselves at Tilton Talk. So after a week of league games for yourselves at Charlton, but FA Cup games for ourselves, we're back to league action on Saturday afternoon. And again, really nice to say, but a 3 o'clock kickoff because we've not got many of those coming up again. Birmingham off the back of a loss against Newcastle, which was very hard fought and really just showed where the team has come to and how we can compete against some of the big boys. And then on to a 4-0 thumping of Cambridge midweek, which now takes us 7 points clear at the top of the table. We've still a game in hand, so looking very promising at the moment. Charlton coming to the game, though, this weekend, off the back of quite a good run of form. 2 wins in the past 2 games, leaving them 5th in the table and on 50 points. But also, I guess, a key stat across all of this for those Charlton fans out there is that we scored 4 goals and only conceded the 1 during those 2 games. And we have, as we'll come on to say, seen a bit of a difference between when we played each other at Charlton earlier in the season. And again, this will be our 3rd game against each other when we take the League Cup as well into account. So, gonna be interesting. So overall, the record at the moment stands at Birmingham winning 22 games, drawing 21 and losing 25. So Charlton are still ahead of the game going into this weekend. And our last 5 games follows a similar trend. 2 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss. So, yeah, Joe, tell us a little bit about how things have changed since we last played each other. Obviously, a bit of a difference in terms of, that's fair to say, the morale of the team, the way that they're playing. When we played each other before, you were down towards the relegation zone, fighting to stay away from that, and now see yourself in 5th place. So what's changed?
Yeah, we've learned to play football is the honest answer. We've been a side that's been good off the ball all season, but we've looked rather inept when we've had it at our feet. And there was a run, which the Birmingham victory was sort of in and amongst the start of it, where we went with 1 win in 9 games. And then I think Birmingham were the next one. So without that one, it would be 1 win in 13 or something like that. And so we went into December looking at over our shoulders really a bit more than up the table. 4 points off the relegation zone, 8 points off the playoffs, which shows you, there wasn't a massive gap between the two ends of the table. But when you're 50% closer to one than the other, it does feel a bit more like you're in that battle than the other battle. But also we were struggling to see how we were going to turn this around. Jones didn't know his his best team. Is the honest answer, or the best setup. We were trying to find ways to make things work and sort of scrabbling around really, but we've happened on a system which is three at the back, with three at the back with three wing backs, one playing centre back, and two left wing backs, both playing at wing back.
Well, this could be fun.
But it works, and it really does work. And then we've transitioned from Doherty being an attacking midfielder to a defensive midfielder, which has immensely improved his game. Luke Berry has said himself in an interview at the weekend that it took him a long time to settle because he's a player that relies on playing off of people. And he's had to, it's his first move in a long time. So he's had to learn how to play off of different people again. And then we've also got the slight complication or the slight tweak up front in terms of having Godden and Tyrese Campbell, whereas we've signed three big strikers. We're now not playing with any of them. So that's the system that is really, really working, and it's across the pitch. You've got ways to cause people problems, but the high press, high energy side of Charlton that Birmingham will remember all too well, I think, from the league game at the Valley. And I would say, if anything, I'd expect us to be even higher pressing, even more energetic, even more vociferous in our closing down. So, but when we do win the ball, we will hopefully look much more controlled on it, which is the big difference.
And so you mentioned there, obviously, the change in the structure and the way things have been, which has obviously brought a bit of fruit really to yourselves in terms of changing in terms of the goal scoring, being, by the sounds of it, more defensively astute as well. What else do you think has caused it? Because obviously we've gone through the end of the first transfer window. Now we've been through the winter transfer window as well. And, you know, did you go on to sign additional players, or do you feel as though you strengthened even more? And I guess the key thing is it solely down to tactics, or do you think the players just actually now have gelled? Because when we spoke earlier in the season, it was actually we've got some people that have been around for a while. The others are still like learning their trade, in effect, with Charlton. Yeah,
I mean, we've cleared the decks really in January. So I think we got rid of 8 in total in January. Now, added up together, you get to 2 full matches per player, so about 1,800 minutes, I think, for the outfield players in total this season. So they're not massive contributors to us, but they were players that were coming in and out of the side. And when they were coming in, generally, you were thinking, well, that's a downgrade. So we don't have that. We do have a much better fitness record at the minute. So we've got Kane Ramsey back. We've had Lloyd Jones come back at centre half, who is a colossus for us. And the other part of it is that we, in the early part of the season, what we had was Josh Edwards at left wing back and Kane Ramsey at right wing back, and that enabled us to stretch teams. Yeah. And so we were causing teams some problems down the flank and scoring late on. And when we lost Ramsey to injury, we then put our backup right wing back in, and he immediately got injured. And then we were playing a centre back at right wing back for a while, and just the balance of the team was all wrong. In addition, I think at the same time, we'd also lost one of our left wing backs. So we were really haphazard and really unbalanced. Yeah. But now Kane Ramsey's coming at right centre back for us, who is a wing back by trade. And what that enables us to do is we've got a bit of pace in the back line, which definitely helps. And then Thierry Small has gone across onto the right hand side. So even though he's left-footed, he can go either way. He is as sporadic and chaotic with either foot, so you never quite know what you're going to get with his left foot, and the right foot is similarly afflicted. But when it does come off for him, he is unstoppable, really, and he's lightning quick. There's no doubt about it. Lightning quick. So having him on that side, and then on the other side we've got Josh Edwards, who is very hardworking, gets up and down, but he's playing behind a striker who's historically a winger. So he's got that tricky side there. So it's sort of a three at the back, a 3-5-2 that turns into a sort of almost a 3-4-3. And it's that hybrid shape that I think is causing teams a bit of problems in terms of getting used to. And so, yeah, it's a bit of tactics, it's a bit of gelling, and it's a bit of stumbling across that particular system and those players. And we've not been changing the side. I think you would struggle if you're looking at league games to come up with more than 1 or 2 changes to lineups in the last month and a half, 2 months, which does really, really help because obviously the players know exactly what they're doing. They're going out playing exactly the same patterns time after time after time. The one thing we have added in January, which showed a real benefit to us in yesterday night's game, is Gilbert at attacking midfielder. He came on and offered us something that we don't have, which is some incisive passing. So if we are struggling to break a team down, I do think now we've got some more options coming off the bench to really make a difference. So that, I think all those things add together. But the big watch out for Charlton is that our squad is as bare as our pitch. So if we do get a couple of injuries, it doesn't take long before I think you are looking at kids on the bench and having no options really to bring on to change up a game. But we're just, I think, gambling 100% on keeping everyone fit, and we have done that exceptionally well over the last couple of months.
And of course, you're going into this game as well. You are one of only 2 teams that have taken 3 points off Birmingham this season. So I can only imagine that you want to come up and do the double. You want to see, you want to see the first of all the league record that we're holding at the moment in terms of wins and unbeaten run. We want to continue that, but you want to break it down. I think it's got the making of a fantastic game on Saturday. I know from reports that you've sold out your away allocation, so that's going to be a great atmosphere that we've built. Heading for a big crowd again at St Andrews in Knighthead Park. The only thing I will say, we've got that many home games that it may be a bit lower than at other occasions. Because literally we have been Saturday, Tuesday. We will be Saturday, Tuesday. We're then away from home, but then we're back at home on a Tuesday and back at home on the Saturday. So it's a struggle, obviously, for people to get to so many games, but it's still going to make for a really good atmosphere and really good game on Saturday afternoon. So you mentioned about some of the pace that you've got on your wings, but where do your goals come from as far as the team's concerned now? Because again, that was one area when we played that you were struggling with, but still managed to get that goal against us that got the 3 points.
Yeah, so the goals are coming from all over at the minute, which is, I think, why we're in such a good vein of form. So if you look over the recent few games, we've had winners from Lloyd Jones at centre, or goal from Lloyd Jones at centre back, Macaulay Gillespie at centre back. Both of our left-footed wing backs scored a right-footed goal in consecutive games. One from outside the box, which was an unbelievable curler that even Edwards in the interview said he didn't expect it to go in. He was a bit surprised by it himself. So, that definitely helps. And then you're coming into midfield, and Luke Berry, probably with one of the finishes of the season in the league in terms of technique. Anyway, at the weekend, wrong foot first time volley off of the bar from outside the box and just gently cushioned it into the far corner, just as exquisitely as you could. It would have been very easy to miss. And then up front, Matty Godden's 4-4 now for us. And how he didn't score in the first half, Tuesday night, God only knows. Jed Steer having an absolute unbelievable game for Peterborough in goal, but he is very, very good at getting across the front of a defender and getting his shots away. So he looks like he's going to score pretty much any game you go out there. So it's all across the pitch, and I think that takes the pressure off. Whereas, and the other thing is we're creating a lot more chances. I mean, we had 9 shots on target in the game on Tuesday night, and previously you'd be looking across 8 or 9 games to get that at the start of the season. So there's less pressure on taking your chances, if that makes sense, because you know that there's going to be another coming around the corner. So all those factors together.
Yo, UK! At BetMGM, we give our players sports betting entertainment like nobody's business. Football, horse racing, darts, boxing, tennis, golf, NFL, NBA. You name it, we got it. Offers? You know it. Bet £10 and get £40 in free bets. BetMGM, it's showtime.
New customers only. Exclusions apply. 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly.
They say opposites attract. That's why the Sleep Number Smart Bed is the best bed for couples. You can choose what's right for you whenever you like. You like a bed that feels firm but they want soft? Sleep Number does that. You want to sleep cooler while they want to feel warm? Sleep Number does that too. Why choose a Sleep Number Smart Bed? So you can choose your ideal comfort on either side. And now save 50% off on the new Sleep Number Limited Edition Smart Bed. Limited time, exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. See store or sleepnumber.com for details.
Help very nicely. And then we are probably the fittest, if not one of the fittest teams in the division. And so we scored 15 goals this season in the last 15 minutes. And we've only conceded, I think, 2. So, if we're in with a shout towards the end, there's that belief as well from our players that we can go and nick something. So I think that's a couple of different things in terms of the number of chances, but also the fact that we know time and time again that if we need a goal in the last 10 minutes, we probably will be able to go and get that.
I mean, it's so, everything you've just described there it's almost like me describing Birmingham, because that's what we have been like. Is the very high press obviously has continued, but fitness-wise, we've had players that have been out, but when they've come back, it doesn't look as though they've been away from games, which has been awesome. We are also doing the same thing in terms of the continuation of pushing and pushing and pushing to try and, obviously keep teams out, but also getting that fitness really is key. Because I think if you can get to your 65, 70 minutes, some teams are getting to a stage where they're beginning to blow, their legs are going, and then it's, we're being attacked. What are we going to do? So I think, from what you're hearing as well, it really is going to open things up on Saturday. We're talking there about goal scorers, where goals are coming from. And I've got a new challenge that I'm setting to everybody in the second half of the season that I'm speaking to. And it's when we come to our games, we always know from the past who has been influential. But do you think you can name your highest goal-scoring attributions from people in the games against Birmingham? So I have the names of 5 players across both clubs and the numbers of goals that they have scored that puts them into the top scorers list for fixtures between Birmingham and Charlton. Charlton have 2 players that are within that list, Birmingham with the remaining 3. Now, one of them, I will tell you straight off, if you get it, I know you've Googled it. And that's the Birmingham player. But can you name the 2 Charlton players that would be up there in terms of the goal scoring numbers? And then also, do you want to have a go at the 2 remaining Birmingham ones?
Well, I'm going to be awful at this straight off of the bat, because my ability to retain info. I'm famous at the CharltonLive quiz of needing to be paired with someone that does most of the heavy lifting, and I'm really there for the looks, which obviously comes across very well on a podcast. So yeah, I'm definitely going to struggle here. You'd have to look at, players that were around and scored a fair few goals for us. So, if you're looking at a gamble like that, you'd probably be putting in the likes of a Darren Bent, 'cause we were together for a number of years in the Premier League when he was there.
Indeed, and Darren Bent is one of your goal scorers.
He's one of them. Okay, and then we've not played each other for a long, long time. Really, we were sort of ships in the night between leagues for a while. So I don't think it can be anyone particularly recent.
What I can tell you to help you out is that the person that's from Charlton is second on the highest goal scoring list and actually played central midfield.
I mean, you say that's going to help me. My central midfield. And then you're sort of coming down to, I'd say, the likes of, again, Premier League era people that were around for a while. Either your Parkers or your Jensens, maybe a Matt Holland. We'll go for Matt Holland by the noise, unless I haven't mentioned it.
It is. So Matty Holland is your highest goal scorer in terms of the fixtures between Birmingham and yourselves. He scored 3 goals. Darren Bent, who you mentioned, got 2. Now, I'm going to give you the highest goal scorer across the 2 clubs because it's a name that goes back over the years. Centre forward, name is Eddie Brown, and actually he scored 4 goals for Birmingham during the fixtures between the 2 of you.
I might have had a chance at that because I would have just gone with 2 very generic names, and Eddie and Brown are pretty much as generic as you get. I'd say sorry to any Eddie Browns that are out there listening potentially.
Have a go.
Have a go at the Birmingham players.
Now, one of them I can tell you. Well, first of all, both of them were centre forwards. One of them was actually a loan player when he was at Birmingham, and he joined us on loan from Manchester United. Did really well in his Birmingham time. Unfortunately, his career didn't take off as it was expected, so he didn't really go on to do very much more. And the second one was Birmingham. You've mentioned the Premier League days, so it is a Premier League time player. Phenomenal. Absolute phenomenal. Everything he touched seriously turned to gold. He was at Birmingham on loan and then signed permanently in the summer. And the last clue I'll give you, he was signed by Steve Bruce during the winter transfer window in our year in the Premier League. And nobody would have called it as a transfer to Birmingham.
Well, yeah, that shows my lack of knowledge. I mean, if you're talking Manchester United loanees that went on to do nothing, that played up front, the only name that's jumping to mind is it Federico Macheda, who
is correct.
There we go. So that's more my knowledge of Man United than it is anything else. And then, as a rogue midfielder that joined you that you wouldn't have expected, the only thing that I can think is I know that you got Bowyer for a while. That's the only one.
Not Bowyer. If I use the phrase "Ola God," does that help at all?
Oh, Shinola.
No.
Oh, then I'm fully out.
Oh well. It was the one and only, and he was Le God, and everything he touched turned to gold. World Cup winner, a European Cup winner as well. French international in Christophe Dugarry. So during the years that we played each other, to go back through, Eddie Brown was 4 goals.
They say opposites attract. That's why the Sleep Number Smart Bed is the best bed for couples. You can choose what's right for you whenever you like. You like a bed that feels firm but they want soft? Sleep Number does that. You want to sleep cooler while they want to feel warm? Sleep Number does that too. Why choose a Sleep Number Smart Bed? So you can choose your ideal comfort on either side And now save 50% off on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time, exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. See store or sleepnumber.com for details.
Frederico Macchiato was 2, and so was Christophe Dugarry. So, you know, we've got quite a scattering, really. And I've got to say, it does make a change for more Birmingham players to be listed in the top 5 than it does the opposition, because all the others that I've done have been the other way around.
Well, so Matty Codden hat-trick on Saturday will be not good news for that chart.
No, and you know, if it happens, I'm going to be disappointed. So we come on to the game on Saturday. Obviously, a totally different circumstance to where we were before. Already mentioned the raucous atmosphere and build-up that there will be at St Andrews at Knighthead Park. First time you guys visiting for quite a while as well, so you'll see the differences in and around the stadium with the fan parks and the areas that people can come into. And I will say the fan parks are both teams, so if fans do fancy come to have a look, you know, the Cop area, definitely one to make a visit to. So going into the game, as we did before, what does your head say the result will be, and what does your heart say it will be?
So my head is quite confident, and the reason being that we have a knack of teams who play out from the back being very difficult for them to get round. And if you play for our press, then pretty much hats off to you. And we're both in a good run of form. I think that the other thing is that, you know, having had a bit of a canter for yourselves on Tuesday, but we had a last minute winner against Peterborough, and a team that we've completely took apart really, and should have been a long way ahead. So I think that I can see us nicking a couple of goals, and I can see us continuing our run of clean sheets. I mean, we've had 13 in the league this season. Last season we only managed 5 in all competitions, and we are on a very, very good vein of not conceding. You mentioned we only conceded 1 in the last 5, I think you said it, and that was a penalty. So we aren't giving up chances, and teams are struggling to break us down. So I think that looking at that, I think that it's the kind of game that we would go and win. I then think we'll probably stuff up against Exeter the following week, and that is the life of being a Charlton fan. But I don't think it'll be a high scoring affair either way. Just because if we are to win it or we are to concede it, what we'll be looking at, I think, is keeping things pretty tight. And a lot of the gambles will be about long balls towards the end rather than leaving ourselves exposed on the counter. So my head and heart are both saying at the minute a 2-1 win.
And I'm actually going to go just the role reversal. I said it when we recorded Tilton Talk at the start of the week that you look at the midweek game and you think, okay, yeah, we really should go out and we really should beat the Cambridge side, sitting bottom of the league, just completely out of any sort of confidence. And that did show through on Tuesday evening. But then I look at our game on Saturday, and actually it's one of the tougher ones. You know, we've done the 2 others. We've gone through the 2 games against Wrexham. We've gone through the 2 games against Huddersfield. We have Leyton Orient to come up who are on a decent run. We've got yourselves. So these are the games that, for me, we need to see over the line. And you know, I think I'll go with the 2-1 myself. I think it's going to be really hard fought game where we're going to have 2 teams that, to start off with, are going to be really sketchy around how we go at each other, try and fathom each other out, and then we'll see more of an open game. So perhaps the second half is where the goals may be scored. And we've also, like we said, got 2 teams that at the moment can run and run and run and run and run. The difference for me is we're seeing goals literally coming from every angle. And we're not seeing, as we've seen in the past, tippy-tappy, we're going to knock it in from 5 yards type of goals. You know, against Newcastle, the screamer of Iwata. Iwata has this knack of just spanking them from outside the box. And I think he scored 5 this season, and 4 of those have come from that sort of distance. So that'll continue to be that way. And Stansfield, at the moment, getting back more and more fit after he was out for a couple of games. He's got a point to prove. You know, he missed the penalty on Tuesday evening. Really unusual for him. He did score the first one, but he missed the second. So he's now going to be out to want to do stuff. And dare I say it, but Alfie May has been sitting on the bench and he's eager to play football. And I think that's when you get and see the most dangerous side of Alfie May. So my prediction sticks with 2-1. I'll go with a Stansfield first goal. I think we'll go 2-0 up, and then we'll concede in that latter part of the game, and it'll make it a really edgy last 15, 20 minutes. And I'll tell you what, if I might regret not having a bet if I didn't do it, so I might look at that now. But we'll see how it goes. But it's going to be tough. And, you know, as always, made the best team win. And you'll be thinking that's going to be Charlton, and I'm thinking it's Birmingham. We wouldn't expect it. So thank you, Joe, for joining us on the away end in association with AMG Logistics. This has been great to go through our upcoming games. Hopefully this isn't the last time we speak. Next season, hopefully, again, we'll be playing each other. You coming up via the playoffs, and it'd be nice for Birmingham to take that top spot. I've got to say it, and I'm going to stick by it. But I do hope that you can get yourselves through the playoffs, because when I do look at the teams that are in and around that area, I know you said at the beginning you didn't think you'd stick around, but I think you've got the strength to do it, and you've got the run of form that others seem to be lacking at this present moment. So hopefully that will continue. So as always, I'll sign off by saying have a great rest of the season, apart from on Saturday. And thanks a lot again. And keep right on.
Same to you guys. If you could do us a couple of favours against the teams that are up there, that'd be we'll appreciate that.
Hey, when we play in Orient, we won't forget you. Don't worry.
Thank you very much.
Yo, UK! At BetMGM, we give our players sports betting entertainment like nobody's business. Football, horse racing, darts, boxing, tennis, golf, NFL, NBA. You name it, we got it. Offers? You know it. Bet £10 and get £40 in free bets. BetMGM, it's showtime.
New customers only. Exclusions apply. 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly.
To make switching to the new Boost Mobile risk-free, we're offering a 30-day money-back guarantee.
So why wouldn't you switch from Verizon or T-Mobile?
Because you have nothing to lose. Boost Mobile is offering a 30-day money-back guarantee.
No, I asked why wouldn't you switch from Verizon or T-Mobile?
Oh.
Wouldn't.
Because you love wasting money as a way to punish yourself because your mother never showed you enough love as a child?
Whoa. Easy there.
Yeah.
Applies to online activations. Requires port in and auto pay. Customers activating in stores may be charged non-refundable activation fees.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.